What is going on, Jets Guru fans? Yet another loss for the New York Jets served up for you. What can I say? We talked about this being probably the best opportunity for the New York Jets to win a football game. And I think it wound up becoming true. When you look at this game and how it was played, it's not like the Jets got stomped on. There was just so many missed opportunities from the New York Jets, and I think that's really what was a huge problem for them. They can't take advantage of opportunities. The defense gives you an opportunity late in the third quarter to put up points in really good field position, and the offense stails out. Sam Darnold looked all right in the beginning of the game. He made a couple nice throws, a few nice catches too. To be honest, there was a few nice catches, and look at this. Even my Jets hat is crooked because it's like the way the season is, and it's just one of those things where it's a tough watch, and you expected Sam Darnold to come in here and do some of the things that, at least Joe Flacco was able to do. And, he made a couple nice throws. He is a professional. He was given time a couple times to make the throws, but nothing special, nothing for me that puts you over the top. When you have a Sam Darnold enter the game over a Flacco, you expect that this guy to take you over the top, right? He's your starting quarterback. Shouldn't he take you over the top? Shouldn't there be a clear difference in the offense and how it's executed when you go from the backup, a veteran backup, to your starting quarterback? But that's just not what you see with the New York Jets. What you see with the New York Jets is Sam Darnold come in and the team looks worse. They don't throw the ball down the field with the same accuracy. There were some missed throws, there were some underthrows. Me personally, I just don't think Sam is the answer. And I've been saying it. People could say it's a broken record. You could blame it on this. You can blame it on that. Man, I'm only covering what I see. So you can watch or you can't watch. It's up to you. But this is what we're going to talk about on Jets Guru because it's the most important position in sports and it's the most important position on the team. Nobody wants to hear that Fadu Kasi made a tackle. He made a tackle. That's great. Good job. And he's a good player. I like him. But everyone wants to know what's going on with the starting quarterback because it's a serious issue for this team. It's been a serious issue for this team for the longest time. The whole time I've been a Jet fan, we've been trying to find that franchise quarterback. And when you see Sam Darnold go out there and play quarterback, do you see a franchise quarterback? Because I don't. Because I think, honestly, me personally, if Flacco played this game is probably closer. You may say, oh, this, that. No, I believe this game is closer. I think the throws are different. I think the play calling is different. And the execution is ultimately different. The Jets had 1 turnover in this game, 2 turnovers in this game. Where did they come from? Not from fumbles, not from strips or anything like that. It came from Sam Darnold. And the throws that he made were the same throws that he continues to make each and every game that he's a New York Jet. You expect him to throw at least 1 to 2 interceptions a game where he completely locks on a receiver and doesn't see the trailing defender or doesn't see the safety coming down. It happens time and time again. There's nothing I could say about that. That's not a broken record. That is a fact. So unfortunately, we have to keep talking about the same things because he keeps putting out the same product. Now with Mims, he's a straight gamer. That guy, again, we spoke about it. He is a really, really good young wide receiver, in my personal opinion. I think that, we hit the nail right there. We really, really did. I think he's going to be good. He's going to get better. The catches that were made on him, the one that I didn't like was Mims down the sideline, and they called him for a PI, but he had to. The ball was so badly thrown that you didn't really give your receiver a chance to get it, and you threw it to where the defender had inside position. So when the ball is going over his head, the only way Mims can make a play on that ball is where he has to go up over top. And he still almost made the catch, even though it was clearly pass interference. There wasn't any question about that. It was definitely pass interference. But he actually went up and made a play to go get the ball in a position that he had no business going to get. And there's no business that the ball should have been placed there. You see the defender on the inside position, then you throw it in a place where the receiver can turn his back and get the ball. See, the thing with Sam, when he throws I like the way Sam throws the ball in the slot to guys like Crowder, little ins and outs, stuff like that. I'm in the seam even. I like Sam. but we haven't seen the tight end really be worked, this whole season. And I think it's kind of hurt Sam because I feel like he was developing a rapport with Herndon before this season. And I think that's a good spot to save your young quarterback. But when you talk about throwing the ball down the field, the pass just doesn't have that same accuracy. It doesn't have that same spin that you see from Flacco or a guy who could throw the ball like that. It seems like when Sam throws a deep ball, he's kind of just throwing it up and he's really hoping for a play. Like too many times did I see that happen, and I'm like, oh, I just don't like that. And unfortunately, in the NFL, you have to throw the ball down the field like that if you want to have success. On the defensive side of the ball, you saw Q Williams. I mean, let's be honest here. He's taken a big turn. His body looks different. His plays look different. And I know the announcer said, oh, well, he's not going to get you 10 sacks. Well, I'm not saying he's going to get you 10 sacks necessarily, but what I can tell you is that, he's been robbed 2 sacks already. He could have around 6 sacks now. By the end of the season, it could have been 8, close to that, maybe 7. So I really think that his ability to get into the backfield will lend him a few opportunities throughout his future where he will rack up some sacks. And I could see Q Will getting 5 sacks a year, that type of deal from that position, which I'm okay with. But just his disruption alone in the backfield, I think is something really positive for New York Jet fans. I mean, you really have to be positive about this kid and the turn that he's made, the amount of double teams that he's taking. I think it's great. I love seeing it. What I don't love seeing, obviously, is the way that the game is called. I don't like how Gase run on first down, run on second down. He doesn't have a feel for the game. Like that 4th and 1, you knew the Jets were going to run up the middle with Frank Gore. He just does not have a feel for the game as a play caller, and it's just absolutely awful. Listen, the Jets defense, they tried to hang in there. And listen, you guys could say whatever you want about the offense, but man, how about the defense? They don't look great, but they don't even look good sometimes. But they hang in there, and they're dealing with 3rd and 4th string cornerbacks, backup linebackers out the wazoo, rotations. I mean, this is not a good defense personnel-wise. At least the offense has their full complement of receivers. They have their starting running back. They have many of their starting offensive linemen. They have their starting franchise quarterback in Sam Darnold, and they still can't muster up enough offense. I mean, it's really, really bad. I mean, I saw something on End Zone that Michelle had posted, and it said, if you want to put someone in to win, you put in Flacco. If you want to get evaluation, you put in Darnold. That's sad. That is absolutely sad coming from someone who's supposed to be your starting franchise quarterback. And as I said before, this was an opportunity for the Jets because I don't see them really competing against many other teams moving forward. So it's hard to really say where the Jets get their next competitive close win, or they look good, or I just think this is it, guys. I think we're going over. I really believe that. I think it's over for sure. And you look at the Jets and the Dolphins, they both had 11 drives in this game. Couldn't have been any different the way the product looked on the field, even though they split the drives, even though their yards per play were around the same. The passing wasn't, the rushing attempts, they were just about the same. This team mirrored themselves. It wasn't like, there was a huge time of possession gap. The Dolphins had 32 minutes in time of possession. The Jets had 27. So it wasn't like that. It was just really a poor performance from an offensive football team. And it was really, really sad to watch Sam Darnold really make those throws. They were so bad. The first one that he threw, he could have stopped and actually had a tiny bit of time there to be able to make a better decision. But the kid is pressing. He's been making the same mistakes. And honestly, I think that the Jets move on. I really don't think there's much he's going to be able to do at this point to really change the minds. Everyone can tell me whatever they want. That's just how I feel at this moment. After watching this game and so many opportunities that they had to push the ball down the field, to move it, to actually make this game closer, and the defense giving you the ball twice on strips to just have it right there to at least get some points. You got Gase throwing out the field goal team when you should be going for it. You got Gase going for it when he should be sending out the field goal team. No time management skills at all. No adjustments in the first half to the second half offensively. They just go out there and do the same thing. It is one of the most unprepared groups that I've seen in quite a bit of time. This is going to go down as one of the worst football teams of all time. And they deserve it. They deserve every bit of it. When you talk about the preparation that this team has, when you talk about the talent that's on this team, when you talk about the coach and what he's able to do inside the game, when you talk about the quarterbacks and the fact that he keeps making the same mistake, when you talk about the regression of skill players that were on this team, guys like Herndon, guys like Sam Darnold, key members of this team that were supposed to take the Jets the next step, it has just been an all-around disaster. The pointing of fingers that we had earlier in the season, you're talking about medical results that don't get sent right and this and that. You're talking about this season with the medicals. Did you rush Sam Darnold, and then did you sit him when you probably should have played him because you were afraid that he was going to show himself badly with a bad performance? I mean, all these things come in and out of this Jets locker room, in and out of these Jets games, and you just see that this is the reason why. This is the reason why they're 0-11. This is the reason why they haven't made the playoffs in the last 10 years. When you talk about a rebuild, this team needs a rebuild from top to bottom. And I believe that goes with the quarterback situation as well. You won't find another situation where it's laid out for you. It's absolutely laid out for you. Trevor Lawrence comes out, says goodbye to Clemson fans. He's going in the draft, bro. He doesn't care where he gets drafted. Neither should he. He shouldn't. He shouldn't be concerned. If you're a gamer, if you're a good quarterback, you're going to find your way. Okay? You have all the cap space. You have multiple picks that even when you do pick the quarterback, you're going to have opportunities to put pieces around them. Like I mentioned, the money in free agency. You're going to be able to bring some players here, and you have a turnover of roster. So that way, when your new coach comes in, he could start making immediate changes on this team to where within 2 years, you should be seeing his football team and not the prior one. So I think when you add all those things up, I think you just have a recipe for the Jets to be able to start over. And no one's going to say any wrong. You know, like, listen, even for you Sam Darnold fans, and even for me, right, whether Sam I'm not even going to go there with it, okay? But there's no excuses. If they go out and they draft Trevor Lawrence, are you going to be disappointed, really? Are you going to come out and say, oh, man, we're going to get burned by Sam now? What has he shown you that he is going to be able to translate over to another football team and all of a sudden become the next coming of Steve Young or Joe Montana? Now, could Sam Darnold go to another place and have success as a quarterback? Yeah. I could see where if you kind of dink and dunk your offense, a lot of ins and outs, a lot of seam work. But if you're looking for a team to push the ball down the field, to get yourself back into a game, or to look for a special play from your quarterback that can put you over the top, I don't see it from this kid. I don't see it. Everyone keeps bringing up Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill has one of the best running backs in recent memory. The guy is a tank, okay? He has an all-around good football team. And that's still, honestly, at the end of the day, not going to be enough. I think when the playoffs start, the Titans will always wind up losing because there's going to be a team that you run into the playoffs that's going to stop your running game, that's going to take an element away, and you are going to need your quarterback to throw you back into a game. And I don't think that Ryan Tannehill could do that. Those types of guys, they can't do that. They need to be game managers all the way through. They'll get their touchdowns, they'll get their stats through working the scheme. And that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. You can win like that. But that's not what the Jets need right now. The Jets need a franchise quarterback, a guy that could put a team on his shoulders and not do everything. I mean, some of the best quarterbacks in the league, they played on crappy teams when they first started out. But over time, you should see progression in the way they play, and not just the way they play in the positives, but the negatives as well. You shouldn't be seeing the same type of negativity every time the player touches the field. You make the same type of interceptions. You make the same type of mental decisions that slow down. Like, for instance, people are saying, oh, coverage sack. Coverage sack? There's plenty of times I saw where you got to put the ball up or you got to get rid of it. That is not being confident in the pocket, not being sure is a detriment. It is not a positive. How many times are we going to say the offensive line, when I just watched an old man come onto the field with no mobility and put up a better game than you, and much tougher situations where you had to come back against a bigger lead and you're playing against a way, way better scheme team when you're talking about the Patriots, who are still hanging in there, even though they lost a lot of players because they have good coaching. And even then, they were able to put up at least an offensive fight to keep you into the game, to show you, oh man, we're not the worst team in the league. But when you watch a game like this, there's no doubt about it, you are, from top to bottom. And that includes the quarterback. And that includes the coach who was supposed to take this kid to the next level. And he's done nothing for Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold has done nothing for this franchise. So the amount of that protection that Sam Darnold gets, I just don't get it. I really, really don't. Because you know what? I'm not going to be disappointed when I see Trevor Lawrence become part of the New York Jets solution, or at least part of the future. I'm not going to be mad about having the best possible prospect that's been out in quite a bit of time. Are you? Are you going to be that upset if Trevor Lawrence enters and becomes a New York Jets quarterback? Are you really going to be that upset when the roster turns over? Are you really going to be that upset that the Jets have 8 picks after Trevor Lawrence? Are you going to be that upset? Because I'm not. Because there's nothing that has been shown over the course of this year. And honestly, what we've saw from Sam Darnold, this is his career as a New York Jet. He finished the season 6-2 last year against some of the worst competition in the league schedule-wise. That is all we have to offer. That is all we have to offer to say, here, guy, take $15 to $20 million plus. Take our franchise and our 9 picks this year, 9 picks next year, and let's build around this kid. So, again, you can call me a Sam Darnold hater. I'm only saying what he is showing. I am not creating anything. I am not saying that Sam Darnold is a head case. I am not saying that Sam Darnold is seeing ghosts or any of this kind of stuff. I've said none of that. All I've said is what he's shown me each and every Sunday. And don't forget, I watch the same Jet games as you do. I don't get paid for this. I don't get to sit into some suite or something. I'm in my living room with a backdrop, okay? Digging up information, watching games twice, watching films, putting a show together. So yeah, I'm frustrated when I hop on and I have to talk about Sam Darnold over and over and over because he sucks. Maybe if he played better, I would have better things to say about him, but he hasn't. So what do you want me to say? Do you want me to create fake headlines for Sam Darnold? Oh, well, you know, he did throw that nice ball to Mims where he had to outstretch with his fingertips and catch it. That was a really good throw. Oh, I liked how he picked up the first down on the run. We're talking about a couple plays here and there. I'm talking about a steady body of work. I'm not talking about the first 2 drives. I'm not talking about the first half. I'm not talking about the second half. I'm talking about a full game of damn football. About a full season of damn football, which he's yet to stay on the field for. I'm talking about 3 or 4 or 5 stretches a game where he lights it up. I'm talking about when you strip the weapons away, what do? Because there's quarterbacks whose weapons get stripped away and they still find a way to put up yards in a passing league. I don't want to hear that he has to have this guy, that guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. Everybody has to be healthy. It's the NFL. These are big body men. As you see each and every week, people get hurt, not just on the Jets, but other teams as well. Joe Burrows just got hurt. Shoot. So you're never going to be 100%. But I need to see that you have something there. There's a spark there. And I just don't see it with him. And if the Jets are serious about winning a game, then you play Joe Flacco from here on out. And that's the way I feel about it. Because the last 2 games, I watched an offense that looked competent. And what I saw today was absolutely disgusting. They call the same plays. So it's the same coach, same backup coach, same offensive line, same Mims, same Perryman, same Crowder, but we don't have the same production. What was the one thing that changed from last week to this week? Sam Darnold. And though the opponent is better than you, like actually all these teams have been, you should at least show me something. And I did not see enough today. And if you think that you saw enough from Sam Darnold today, then you're fooling yourself and you're just trying to win an argument, because what we saw today was not enough from that kid. The defense was not great. They gave up 20 points, but you should be able to muster that up with the 2 turnovers that they got for you. They got you 4 sacks today as well. Okay? So I don't want to hear about that. And a lot of the Dolphins' big runs came in those chunks. Besides that, they were even doing a good job against the run for a lot of portion of this game, making the Dolphins one-dimensional, giving you more than enough opportunities to put points on the board and score. This game should have easily been 2017, no doubt, maybe even more. Maybe the Jets could have even won this game if they had competent play at the quarterback position, if they had a competent coaching staff. This is disgusting, and Jet fans are tired of it, and I'm tired of it too, and I'm tired of the excuses. So let's make a pact here on Jet Guru from here on out. We are not right, and this goes for all the Jet Darnold fans who come in my page constantly and defend them. Can we be honest here, starting on November 29th at 4:27 p.m., could we please band together and at least stop making excuses for Sam Darnold? You could keep it. You could say, Dan, but he's got 5 more games, this and that, and the third and whatever. You can continue saying that, right? You could continue saying that, but could you admit to me, can you just stop making the excuses? Can you please let the kid own it? Can you let him own it? Own something that he's done and not pass the buck? We've been waiting for this moment, right? Gase told us. Simon told us. Everybody told us. Well, he hasn't played with Perryman. He hasn't played with Crowder. He hasn't played with Mims, all these guys together. Well, he just did. And you know what I saw? The same Sam Darnold that I always saw. I didn't see any elevation of play. I didn't see throws that Sam Darnold made that Mims was the beneficiary of it. There was actually one play down the sideline that could have been picked where the ball had to be thrown over his head on his right shoulder, and it was thrown behind him where the receiver had to come back. And someone said, well, the receiver has to go back and get that ball. He's running full speed with a defender behind him, which he has one step on the defender, and he has a safety coming from the middle, not over top. This is why the ball needed to be placed over top. He was coming from the side, and it hit his hands, and it wound up getting taken out. You can't just change your – I guarantee, go run outside as fast as you can, and then I want you to run back the other way and then have someone throw a football at you. It is not easy to do. That's why the ball placement has to be put in such a way. There was many overthrows, many ball placement issues with throws down the field that give you cause for concern. Because what did Joe Douglas talk about? He wants a fast group of receivers. He wants an explosive offense. You can't have an explosive offense if your quarterback can't throw the ball down the field with accuracy, who doesn't have good ball placement. You can't. You just can't do it. So as far as I'm concerned, you could say what I want. I know I don't work for the Jets. I know a lot of you like to tell me that as well. I don't work for the New York Jets, but I can almost guarantee you that some of the things I said and some of the things I do say on this show hit. And I'm telling you right now, Sam Darnold's not the future of the New York Jets. He's not. So you can hold on to him as much as you want, but I think he's gone. And hopefully him going to another organization, sitting for a year and internalizing a playbook where he's not forced and pressed to play, he's not forced to do too much, might be great for him and might turn his career around. But from the skill set that I've seen from him, it's just not good enough right now. Not when you have all of that we discussed in front of you. Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall looks like the real deal. He looks like we might have found a corner that we can move on to into next season. He plays really intense football. He's right up in your stuff the whole time. Doesn't give you much room to breathe. It's kind of deceiving when you see some of the wide receiver stats because he was moving around. So I really like what I saw from Bryce Hall. And we're going to have to add to that. We can't go out next year without cornerbacks. That is something that we cannot do whatsoever. We got to go out and get a legit starting corner, and we have to draft one. Brian Poole's not coming back, and then we have a bunch of cast-offs starting. Hugh Williams, awesome game. Love to see it. Langy, Fadukasi. It's nice to see that. I really like to see those things. Frank Gore ran the ball pretty well. I mean, but what are we going to say? I know you guys, I want to see P. Ryan, but P. Ryan's hurt. But what are you going to do? I like Frank Gore. He ran the ball well. 18 carries, 74 yards. Right? Old man, right? He still has some value on this team, as a backup. One of the problems I had in the beginning of this game is that but by the time the first quarter was over, Frank Gore had 7 or 8 carries. I mean, it feels like they trust Joe Flacco more to throw the ball than they do Sam Darnold. And it's just sad to see. It's sad to see this whole franchise because we know it all starts at the top. Even though there's accountability for everyone on the field in the front office, we know it starts at the top because you probably don't get yourself in this mess if you let football people make football decisions. And you don't let a head coach who just got fired come in and dictate who and what stays. And of course, you don't let the GM spend the purse and then walk away the next day and let somebody else handle it. Because the facts of the matter are this. We may not like Mac and the roster that he has put together, but Mac probably doesn't hire Adam Gase if he had full decision. And so maybe Le'Veon Bell and all these other players look better under a guy who can actually coach and a guy who actually wanted to coach these players. We thought it was a joke and it was just the media when he first got hired and those little things started coming out about how he didn't want these guys and this, that, and the third. He doesn't want them because they don't fit into what he does. So this all starts at the top. This all starts at the top because you don't allow football people to make football decisions and you stagger them. So you never want to go through that full rebuild. So you hire a GM, you keep the coach. You keep the coach, you fire the GM. GM doesn't get to pick the coach. They all sit together at the same table. There's no organizational tier, no hierarchy. And this all leads up, all these little decisions add up over time. Players who don't fit the coach doesn't want to coach the players. The GM is gone who spent the purse. The new GM is in. His hands are tied. He can't do anything. He's only in his first off season, and now he has to do another rebuild, even though he just thought he came into a rebuild. What the hell are we doing? What the hell is this? There's a lot of people without jobs out there, and you got billionaires running things like this. How the hell did they get to that point? When you act like this, this is ridiculous. This is not a toy. This is not a toy anymore. This is an organization that's been around going back to the early 60s. What are we talking about? This isn't a toy anymore. Why do they treat it like so? Woody's coming back now. Please, Woody, let Joe pick his own head coach. And can you let the head coach pick his own staff? And could the GM and the head coach come together without the owner and decide if they want to keep Sam Darnold or if they want to draft Trevor Lawrence? You be like a good owner and sit back and reap the benefits for just once. Can you let it run like a real organizational tier like once? Because I think if you do that, I think the Jets can get back to having success. Because if not, you need such a strong personality to come in. Because think about it. Look at some of the reasons why the Jets were good. Our actual real good teams. We had what? A strong personality coach that probably the GM and the owner was afraid to say anything to without getting a good football lashing. And I don't know if those guys exist anymore. And I don't know if they're willing to come to the Jets. Because who wants to get a quarterback, a defensive coordinator, a special teams coach, a blah, 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 thrown on you when you have a scheme and a team of your own that you want to bring, except for what? If you need a job. Yes, sir, I'll take Sam Darnold. Yes, sir, I'll take this defensive coordinator because I know I just got fired and I may not have another coaching job again if I don't take this one. And that's not what I want for the Jets. I want the Jets to have the best coaching candidate available, the best one available. But here we are again, 0-11, 0-6 at home, of course. So, and listen, Greg Williams needs to go. But Greg Williams is in an impossible situation, too. I guarantee you, whatever team Greg Williams goes to next, I bet you their defense plays well. How the hell are you supposed to really do anything? And they at least showed up in some of these games, especially this one, when you have no cornerbacks. Bryce Hall just came back. And in reality, he's what, a 5th-round pick? He should have been a 2nd or a 3rd-round pick without the ankle injury. You've left him with nearly nothing. He's missing Mosley, his star running back, the whole time he's been here. Okay? Copeland was gone last year. Cashman is hurt. You had to sign Hewitt. I mean, come on. You had to sign Burgess. He was your best middle linebacker. Your best. He put up the best stats. He was signed off the free agency heap because nobody wanted him. It's not like you gave him an all-star cast to work with on defense, and they gave you 2 damn turnovers to do something, and you get nothing. Pathetic. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. So we move along, right? And we keep grinding and we keep going, and that's all you could do. But this season can't end soon enough. I'll tell you that much. I am looking so forward to seeing all the new faces. I'm looking forward to seeing what the scheme is going to be at. And I like that feeling, right? I like that feeling when you start learning what the head coach is going to do. And you don't know if it's going to work, but it's better than knowing it's going to suck. I don't know what Trevor Lawrence is going to be. I don't know what the new head coach is going to be. I don't know what the new running back, the new receiver, the new center guard, the new cornerbacks, the new linebackers, because that's what we're going to have to do, right? I don't know who they're going to be, and I don't know how good they're going to be, but I'm excited for that. I'm not excited for this. I'll tell you that much. I am not excited to wake up and watch this. I'm excited for that moment right before the game starts. And then the game starts and I see the same play calling. I see the same rookie mistakes. I see the same things that keep this team 0-11 and continue to make it one of the worst teams that ever touched an NFL football field. So we'll see what happens. A lot of improvement that needs to be done. Sam Darnold, he's got his first taste of his wide receivers. Hopefully he plays a lot better, moving forward. Because this is a tough watch to see this. But thank you guys for tuning in so much. Please share. We don't curse. We don't talk politics. We're gonna disagree on things, guys. I'm not here to appease everything that you say, but some of the comments that I do get on other pages, I know I'm not the Jets GM. I know I should shut up because I don't work for ESPN and all these kind of things, right? But what I do is I try my best to put together a competent show. I try my best to put together a competent team on my end so that way we could give you a product throughout the week that you could like, that you could go to, you could get information from, and that you could vibe with. So that I can say that I do, and I do try my best for. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you Thursday. Not like producer JR, who does such a wonderful job at our new look. He's going to be gone for a couple weeks on Wednesday, so we had to switch to Thursdays so that way we could keep the same overlay because I want the Jets Guru page to continue to look fly for you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. There's other games that are coming up. Deep breath in, deep breath out. This too shall pass. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.